Hello, today we are going to discuss about conditional statements or if then else statements. Now if you're new to programming, one quick description about conditional statements are which are condition based programming. For example, you have a value and you want to compare or you want to check a condition and you are checking if this condition is true, then do this, else do that. And you can do also if different types of conditions. If let's say if the person's name is David, do this. If person's name is John, do this. So these are conditional statements. So for all the languages, pretty much this if and else statements is implemented. So let's do some quick examples, and these are fairly straightforward. So let's say we do. That's our variable. Let's say we have x equal to 100, and we want to check. Let's say maybe so let's say x is salary, and then we want to check different. We have a different commission based on commission percentage based on the person's salary. So typically we'll say that if x and typically in organization, I guess let's take an example. Assume that the more you make, the less commission you get. So let's say, for example, we say if x less than 100 and x greater than, or sorry, it should be just the other way. If x less than, let's make it 120. And x greater than 100, commission equal to x times, so let's say 0.5, give him a big commission, okay, because you're really making less money. Else if, so this is sort of the syntax. So let's put one more else if, and then we'll fill in the code, and then at the end we have else. So let's look at what's going on here really. So what we are doing here is that let's put some space. So what we are checking is that these are typically a conditional statements. So if this is true, if this condition is true, do this. If else, if put something else. So let's put it here. If x greater than 120. So by the way, in the operator section in our tutorial, we didn't discuss this operator. But what this is that this is again another operator which says that and. So that what you are saying is that x greater than 120 and x less than, so these are and condition. So it means both have to be true, then only it will come to this block. So let's give him a little bit okay, so let's put the commission as 0.5, 0.25. Let's not have any more else block. I think you get the point. So else commission equal to 0.1, which is very less. So now, so let's print the salary. So salary is x plus x times commission, right? And then let's put the salary equal to commission. Let's print both. So what we are saying is commission is this. Now we have certain I think looks like compilation error, so that's why these red boxes are popping up. So let's figure out what are those. So one is this one, we didn't have a semicolon, and even this one has a red box, so let's figure out. So we didn't have a concatenation operator here. So what we are doing is that this is a very simple example of if then else statement. So let's print it out. Let's run the program. Okay. So we say salary equal to 110 and commission equal to 0.1. So it looks like it is going here in this block. So let's say our X is really 100. So if this condition is not true, this condition is not true because this is 120 and 100. This condition is not true, so it's coming in this block. So let's maybe make it 130. So it should be here. Okay, so 125. So here. So now initially we wanted to give high commission to a person who is making the list, but looks like our conditions, we didn't do it correctly from a logical perspective, because even though the salary is, let's say, 90, it's coming this block. So how do we do it? So we put another if block to handle salaries less than 100. So to do that, you can just put another else block here, or else if block here. Anyway, so I think you get the picture. When you do else, you have to always remember it can go in either extremes. It can in our case, the salaries could be more than 150 or less than 100. Either one would come to this block. So all these things you have to take into consideration when you are doing your if then else operation. So those are some of the basic ones. Now we compared. Typically, if then else comes with some operators like greater than, less than. So you have to also know what are the different types of operators are there. So we did a video on the operators, PHP operators. So if you haven't done it, please go through that. So we did number comparison here. In the same way, you can do string comparison. So there is other way of operators are something called switch statements. So switch statements meaning it's so in this here case we are doing we are doing with using sort of something called operator, right, for our if then else. So the switch statements are something like this. So let's say, so let's put the syntax first. So we say switch X, and then I'll explain you. And then we put this, and then we say case 100. So let's give him a big commission, maybe 60%. So let me first put the basic syntax or program, the lines, and then I'll explain you. Then you put a default section. Okay, so what we are doing here is that we are doing the same thing with a switch statements. Now this has a little bit limitations, and let me explain you that what that limitation is. Now, as you see, we are getting some compilation error because the editor which I'm using it knows the PHP the syntax, so it is giving a red sign here. That means there is a compilation error, and the error being the switch statement is by itself is not an executable statement, but the entire block is an executable statement. So we should not have a semicolon here. So as you see, the moment we remove the semicolon, the errors signs are gone. So anyway, so this is our statement. So now one limitation between if then else and switch is that switch works on a specific value. So you cannot really put here like the salary is greater than 100 and less than 120. You have to put a basic value. So for example, this is almost like making the if x equal to 90. So that the equivalent of if then else is something like this, or for example 100. So now why would you use switch? Looks like if then else has more more power or more features. Well, I mean, one way it is that it first of all it has to apply to a situation, meaning you have you have a situation where you're doing you're just checking for specific values and not for a range. But also the bigger the reason people use switch is that it's a little bit cleaner code. I mean, if then else comes with a lot of curly braces and code look messy a little bit. The other thing is very important is that you should always put a break at the end of every case statement. So the way it works is that so control comes here and then it says okay, it first basically get the value of x, and then it comes here, it says checks if it's 100, and then you do this, and then you get out of the, when you do the break, it gets out of the loop and comes here. If you don't have a break, what will happen is that it will come to this block. So let's see if it works. So we have got 90, so we should put this one as 100, and we should get a, let's see what value it prints. Okay, 160, 60% commission. So that means it came here because our salary is 100. So that's about switch statements, and I hope you got a good idea about the conditional operators, and we'll do some more advanced arrays in the next video. Thank you.